First slipper on the bus, small business owner coaching, and welcome to the Hub, where we meet on Mondays and Thursdays. Monday in the Metaverse, Thursdays on Zoom, and today we are spotlighting Jeannie Asante, who's going to talk about one of her 13 businesses. Go ahead, Jeannie.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on this platform to highlight one of my businesses. Every business that I do, by the way, I'm extremely passionate about, and it has some kind of amazing value to it that is more than just making me money. A lot of them feed children, a lot of them will help other people in need, and a lot of them are a service that people are already using. However, really are either overpaying or just not getting what they deserve or should get from the business. But before I start talking about that, let me talk about my true passion. My true passion is always being a mom first. I'm a mom of three amazing men that I'm very proud of. They're doing so great. They're amazing. They're thrilling. They're exciting, and they teach me every single day something new. So the tables have turned, right? Instead of me teaching them every day what it's like to be in the living and to do the right thing and be a right person, they're teaching me things about the modern world and how things go and how their lives are going and how maybe a change in mind would be for the better as well. So I'm excited for them doing that for me. And I'm honored that they choose to teach me these things rather than just keeping it to themselves. They also have blessed me with three amazing grandchildren that I can't even fathom my life without them before. I can't imagine what my life was without them before anymore. It's so exciting and so great to have them in my life now. And they teach me as well. My youngest granddaughter actually taught me the other day that her tongue is not separate from her mouth. She was pulling it out as far as she possibly could. And I'm just looking at her, like enjoying this. And you never think that the simple things in life you get to enjoy, right? And that's just basic, simple, down to earth. And it was just so amazing to watch her try to figure out how to detach this. It was just really crazy. But it was amazing. It was fun. She learned it couldn't be detached, and we went forward from there. With that being said, yes, I do have 13 different businesses. And yes, I'm open to having more at the right time, of course, and of course, the right business. So, my caveat is never to say no to listening. I think that when you say no to listening and you stop listening, you stop growing. You may not want to hear what you're listening to, or it may not be for you, or it could be for somebody else in your life that you're blessing with a great idea. But how do you know that unless you listen? So if you say to me, "Hey, Jeannie, guess what? I got something that came across my desk. Can I share it with you?" My number one answer is yes. When just a matter of when I have availability to be able to listen to it. And it may be right away, and it may not be, but guess what? I'm always willing to listen. With that all being said, I want to tell you that I want to talk about impact healthcare sharing. And this is such a passionate thing for me. I want to explain to you how I got into it. I got into it because many, many years ago, as a single person who my children, are off my payroll and my deductions of everything went away. And I just kind of went into culture shock. My insurance went up to like $1,300 a month. Now I go to the doctor maybe twice a year. And that's a bad year, right? I go for my wellness checks and all that stuff. And then maybe if I really get sick, and mostly because I have my tonsils still, my mother had a thing about keeping body parts. She never wanted to give my tonsils up, right? So I still have my tonsils. So every so often, when people usually get that bad cold, I get tonsillitis. And so I have to go to the doctor and get, a little bit of a medication and have it go away. And by the way, the only way to cure that is when you're completely healed and you're no longer in pain. And then they opt you to put you in pain. And I just went, wait a minute, why would I want to do that? So I just kind of kept them. I just said, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go to you to put me in pain. But I think it's most interesting how $1,300 a month, by the end of the year, it's over $15,000, right? It doesn't cost me that much to go to the doctors. It costs me nowhere near that much to go to the doctor. So I did something that was really scary, and I dropped my insurance. When I dropped my insurance, I have my son who's really good at parlaying money. I'm very blessed with him. And so I gave him the money that I would have paid every single month, and he parlayed it to make a little bit of a nest egg that if something went wrong, I would be kind of covered, right? But not really covered, because if something really went wrong, I'd be in trouble monetarily. And do you know the number one reason for bankruptcy is? Healthcare, because you couldn't afford to pay your healthcare and they attach everything to it after you don't pay it, right? And here's another secret. Are you ready? When you have a high healthcare bill, if you pay $5 a month towards it, they can't come after you. Know that just in case you have that or you know somebody so that they can't attach things to them and really destroy their life. And that's just only because they're attempting to pay the bill. And if they try coming after them, people, the judge is going to say, you know what, they're attempting. This is all they can do. This is all they can do. What do you want? It was a medical emergency, life or death, right? Anyway, so that's just a little tidbit for you to have on in your pocket. So I wasn't really in search for healthcare, but this came across my desk, and because I never say no, and I always listen, I listened. And I heard that I could pay less than $400 a month versus the 1,300. I didn't have to change my doctors. I didn't have to look at a list that they were giving me. I didn't have to worry about if anything went wrong with me, they were going to take care of it. And my deductible was going down to 2,500 a year. I went, oh, this is a no-brainer. However, where's the kick? There's always a kick when something's really cheap, right? That's what they say. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do it myself and see what happens. And if it's really great, then I'll start promoting it. If it's not really great, then I'll just walk away and I'll go back to what I was doing before and hope and pray that nothing happens to me. Well, guess what? It's great. It's great. It's amazing. They have telehealth. And which is included. Your wellness every year is included. They give you a certain amount of money towards your blood work. If you join a gym, they give you money back as well for being health conscious and joining a gym, and keeping yourself healthy. And there's so many other benefits. But here are the benefits that really are near and dear to my heart. I mean, you save a lot of money. So I save $900 a month. I don't know about you guys, but what could you do with $900 a month? I know what I'm doing with it. And if you don't feel that you can do anything special with that 900, let's sign you up, save you the 900, and I'll do something special with the other 900, or I'll show you what you can do with it. But here's things about this company that I want to share with you because I don't want you to think it's all about the money and all about the healthcare. It's really about a lot of other things. The most important thing is that it gives you peace of mind, right? They provide peace of mind that you can go to whatever doctor you choose to go to, and that doctor makes the choice of whether they want to get paid from this company or not. They don't have to join anything. There's no list. There's no networking. They just have to agree to receive money. Do you know a doctor that's not going to agree to receive money? No. So guess what? That's a pretty simple process. Flexibility. You have flexibility and alternative ways of being able to get your health care. And you could talk to the underwriters about how and what that can do for you, right? You can also have unity. This is a unity. This is not just a company that is providing you with healthcare. There's actually a whole back office that you could go on to see who you're helping and how the co-share is happening and how this is making a difference in other people's worlds and their stories. A lot of the stories that I share with you are from that platform. And here's one that I'm going to share with you today. It's actually not from that platform, it's a personal one. I had a one-to-one with someone the other day, and we were talking about many things. Healthcare was not on the bucket list, but it became on the bucket list because he said to me, what else do you do? And I brought up healthcare, and he looked at me and goes, are you kidding me? I'm in the search for a good healthcare company right now. Well, let's talk. I said, the first thing I want to know is because even though it's not always about the money, it's always about the money, right? Isn't that true? I mean, really, everything that we do, it's not about the money. I don't want to know about, but when you tell them about the money, all of a sudden it's about the money. So we talked about the money. I said, how much do you pay every single month? He has a family of three, 3,200 a month for a family of three. His deductible is only $1,500 for the year. Okay, which is cheap. It's very cheap for this time of the year and this time of our lives, right? And he's been paying this now for some time, and he's saying, you know what? That's a lot of money. That's really a lot of money. And I said to him, let me ask you something. Are your doctors important to you? He says, yes. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to change. He's like, how about if you go out of state or you go away on vacation? Do you want to be able to choose the doctor that you go to? Or do you want to worry about if your insurance company is going to handle it? He says, no, I want to choose. God forbid something happens to me when on vacation. I don't want to think about it. I just want to know that I'm being taken care of. I said, does your family have any special illnesses that we need to worry about? He's like, no, I'm just paying this money because they're telling me this is what I got to pay. Now, we're not going to talk about the company that did that because it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to say to you this. I said, I'm going to do a real quick analogy for you. 5 minutes. We're going to find out how much you would pay here. His payment went to, are you ready? Are you holding on to your seats, people? $678 a month. His deductible went up by $500 a year. He was saving more than his mortgage every single month. Do you think he got a little excited? Do you think I kind of made his day? Now that is where I get happy. I get happy because guess what? Saved him a lot of money, got him the great health care that he deserves. He didn't have to change anything and stress over, oh my God, are these new doctors going to be able to take care of me the way my old doctors have that I've been with forever? Like my gynecologist, I've been with him for over, I can't tell you how many years, then you'll be able to guess how old I am. That's not good, right? But it's been a long time. And I will say this, I know he's going to retire soon, and I'm dreading that. Could you imagine if I had to think about new healthcare, new doctor, get to know him better? And women, we know this is like a very personal thing, right? So we don't like changing this doctor. We just don't. And so it's so important that we're able to keep these things and be able to work with them and be able to be comfortable in the space that we're in and not have to worry about healthcare saying to you, your insurance, you know what? He got dropped off the list. You got to find yourself a new doctor. Here's a little list because that happens. But here with Impact Healthcare, that does not happen because we don't have a list. Your list is our list. Let me say that again. Your list is our list. It's important that you know that because this is all about you, not about me, not about healthcare, what money we can make from the healthcare, or about what we can do to lower our end of the portion of healthcare. And let me go into the segue on that, and then I'm just going to end. Here's the deal. When you go and have some sort of emergency, it doesn't matter what kind of emergency there is or a high medical bill, insurance companies will go in and negotiate with the doctors to what they're going to pay. We all know that, right? Now, most people have to pay 10 to 20% of whatever the bill is. They don't negotiate your end. They only negotiate their end. Here in Impact, we negotiate both. So let's say we had this woman. She had a hip issue. She fell and she broke her hip. She had to have hip surgery and all that encompasses that, PT, the whole 9 yards. Her bill came out to, I think it was over 200,000. Now, 10% of that is $2,000, right? So that's what she would have had to pay. She would have paid 20% with her prior insurance. But here, if we didn't do anything for her and she would have paid 2,000. You ready for what she really paid? She paid less than $600. Because when they negotiated their portion, they negotiated hers as well. They didn't take the 10% of the original portion. They took the 10% of the negotiated portion. Guys, there's so many things with this healthcare that I could be on this call for the next 30 days explaining to you how it works. And I still probably would miss things I'm telling you. Because guess what? There's just so much to the healthcare that we just don't know about, right? Like that yacht out in the middle of the ocean that I was paying for many, many, many years, and they didn't even put my name on it. Never mind me getting an invitation to get on it, right? That's an old story that they said that the CEO had a yacht out in the middle of the ocean that he paid for with his healthcare salary. And let me say this to you. I truly don't ding anyone for making money. I think it's the greatest thing when you find a position and you get to make money that you can take care of your family and live the high life. I think it's wonderful. It's all our dream, right? But why do you have to rob people to do that? Why can't you just do it the right way? So important that we work from our hearts, not our pockets. Our pockets will automatically fill if you work from your heart. And I think that sometimes we forget that. We lose sight of that. And a lot of people lose sight of that, but Impact Healthcare is not. It is a 501(c). It is religion-based. You do not have to be religious. You do not have to be their religion. You don't have to think about being a religious person. You just have to check the box that you believe that there is religion. And there is, isn't there? Wouldn't you agree there is religion? You don't have to tell them what kind of religion you're in. You don't have to agree with the religion that they're presenting, but just as part of that particular program. And I say that forward and out front because I don't want you to be surprised by it down the road. But here's the caveat with Impact Healthcare. Most people save anywhere between 50 and 60%. Some people a lot more, like that guy with $2,600 a month. Now, I know $900 a month makes a huge difference. What would 26 do for you? It's paying his mortgage. Can you imagine getting enough money back in your monthly budget to pay your mortgage? That's crazy. With that being said, I'd love to take whatever questions we have. Thank you.
I got a question. How come we didn't hear about companies 12 and 13?
So one of the things about when I join a company and I take it on is I usually have the other person talk about it before so I can learn and be able to talk about it educational wise. If I can't speak to it in an intellectual way where I can give you whatever answer whatever to whatever question you give me, I don't feel comfortable. But if you want to learn about them, I'll be more than glad to introduce you to the people that introduced me to it so that you can learn what it is.
I
And
just thought
you
that's
can go.
fine. You did great. I just thought we were
Thank
going to
you.
hear about one of the new ones. All right, questions
That's
out there.
I like to be smart when I'm speaking.
Christine Zelinsky has a question, then Bob does. Go ahead, Christine.
What about New Jersey?
Well, we're working on it. New Jersey is fighting it. The New Jersey healthcare system is a little challenging, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, but we are working on it. It's not something that we're ever going to give up on. It's just a matter of when we can get our foot in the door.
It's
Bob
all about
Hal
the
had a
money.
question. Oh,
It's all about the money. They got a strong hold on politics there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say much more than that. Robert?
Yeah, the in your experience when you take this to a new doctor, hey, ophthalmologist of mine or GP of mine, that I mean, it's just one more set of paperwork for them to do. No one to your knowledge has said no, I don't want to get involved in this scheme with my patient, because the patient brings it to the doctor, correct?
Right. Right. And so, first of all, it's not a scheme. It is an insurance-based a platform.
Right.
But what they do, there's an 800 number that will explain everything to them, so you don't have to take that burden on. They will
Yeah.
explain to them exactly what they need to do. And if for some reason they don't, and there are a few doctors that just are not versed on what's going on and it's silly that they don't want to do it, but it's really more their back office that does this kind of information. It's not the doctor themselves. If you go to the doctor themselves, they will likely say yes because they figure out that they're going to get paid a lot quicker than they do with normal insurance companies. But I didn't bring that up today because it's not the platform for it. But I think it's important to know that you can pay the bill and the company will reimburse you.
So we're going through a lengthy accreditation process with various insurers.
Mhm.
Isn't there that sort of thing where they have to Impact has to see whether Dr. Susan Sent and Island Wellness, they're going to approve her, and there's a 3-month wait before they'll pay for patients? No, yes, I can call
Yeah,
the number. By the way, you gave me the number, and
yeah.
those questions.
Now, you just have to agree to get payment and submit the bills. You would submit a statement just like you would submit to any other insurance company with the codes and all that kind of stuff.
I'll call them. That's a very specific question. I am very interested for all the reasons you said.
Yeah.
The last one is, I'm sure well, maybe you haven't. There was um, a John Oliver expose on the religious-based, share cares. And that basically if you find out that you were drinking and you have the accident, you're not covered because alcohol is forbidden in their religion. If anything, I mean, basically, you have to toe the line as a pretty fundamental Christian, or they will find a way to ding you and not pay. That was sort of the theme
that
of
was
it.
on the one they were referring to, not Impact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I know.
So I want to say to you, let
I
me
quit
say this to
outro.
you, Robert. Robert, let me say this to you. Insurance companies will try to find a way not to pay, right? If they can set this precedence, and if this guy can set this precedence, and the Christians can set this precedence, and anyone can set this precedence and say that if you were drunk, we're not gonna, pay your bill, then any insurance company could probably do that. So that's not just going to be a healthcare sharing thing. That'll be across the board. But I don't, to my knowledge, Impact Healthcare is not like that, to my
Good.
knowledge.
I'm
But
going to
that's,
follow up. Thank you.
yeah.
I'm calling
And
them.
please let me know the answer to that question. I would love to know.
Jeannie
Yeah.
touched on something. So when I was living in Woodstock and I had Impact, I went to the doctor and I said, "Well, we don't take Impact. I don't know, what is this? Your library card?" And I was like, "No, no, no. This is health sharing, and let's get them on the phone and call." And what they said to them, and I could hear the conversation, is, "How long does it normally take you to get paid?" And they, by the insurance company, and they're like, "Oh, 90, 120 days." And they said, "Well, we'll cut you a check now. We'll send it. You'll have it next week. Will you take the insurance now?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll do that."
That's why I'm interested.
Right.
That's
That's
what we're
why
looking at with
that's
Island.
why I introduced the two of you, was for that
Thank you.
reason
Thank you.
right there.
So I want to tell you, it's really interesting that, doctors really don't get paid for some time from the insurance company,
Yep.
and they do have to fight for it. They
Yep.
do have to actually fight for it, which is crazy, right? How would you like your doctor to be looking at you towards the point of how can I help this patient get better versus to when am I get to get paid for this visit?
Yeah.
Yep. All
Yeah.
right. Other questions? Go ahead, Debbie.
Do you cover California?
We do.
Oh, okay. We need to.
Rohan, you had a lot of hand signals going on before. Did you have a question? Or are we
Yeah, I had a
mostly over there?
question because so somebody wanted, so how does this work for people who have like low income? Because for a lot of people, like as you mentioned in your presentation, health insurance that drains people's bank accounts, and I mean it's up there with like rent. So, how does it work for people who, let's say, well, let me give you two scenarios. One, someone who just simply has low income, but they have serious medical conditions that would actually require, um, you know, maybe in some cases, a lot of money for the insurance to cover, or, somebody who just wants insurance and they just want it for like regular checkups and nothing major. How does that really come into play?
Short answers.
Short answers, some pre-existing conditions do not qualify, so you need to actually talk to the underwriter to see what you have. We don't want to air everything out here. As far as the pricing, so it goes by your age and it goes by how many people are the age of the head of the household. I'm sorry. The head of the household, and it goes by how many people you're going to have on this policy. For myself in my age group, I pay less than $400 a month. For Chris, do you mind me sharing yours? For
Good.
Chris, it was going to be less than 300,
So
right? I have someone that's
let me
21
just
years old who joined, his payment is 100 and change a month.
so how would this look then for someone like me? Because I'm 25
Why don't
and
you
less
guys
than
have a
me.
one-to-one and
Yeah.
discuss it? I highly recommend that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
All
would
right.
like to put it in the system, honey, and then they will populate a number for me. So I can't just tell you off the top. I'm just telling you what I've seen.
I got you. All right. If you put your calendar, I definitely want to
Yeah,
talk
but
more about
really do
Will
this.
it.
do.
Okay, so
Will
both of you
do.
really do that. Any
Yep.
other
Yeah.
questions? All right, Jeannie, as always, you're a rock star. Thank you very much. And I will remember to stop recording.